What's up, YouTube? Happy Friday. I know, we're doing another non-yo-yo thing on Friday. I like how this is working out. So, I am just leaving the theater. I just saw Avengers Infinity War. Holy cow. Wow. So, I figured I'd kind of do a first reaction sort of movie review. I'm going to try not to give away too many spoilers. You need to go see this if you haven't seen it. I know I'm late. It's been out for an entire week. I tried to avoid spoilers for the entire week, and I just was too busy. I couldn't really see it over the last weekend, so I went and saw it Thursday night. Thursday evening, I guess, right after work. I hightailed it over here. So, initial reaction is, wow. Just wow. Let's just kind of go through bit by bit here a little bit. So, the opening scene is shocking and so well done and just gripping. The whole movie sort of just grips you the entire time and never really lets go. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes long, but in 2 hours and 40 minutes, you're pretty much at the edge of your seat the entire time. It's incredible. Even though I've already seen it, I could probably watch it again and be just as, like, enthralled and sort of, like, gripped the entire time. So the opening sequence has Thor on his ship with the rest of his Asgardians, and Thanos has found them. I'm not going to give any more away other than that, but it just kicks it off, and right away you're sort of shocked and mortified and, you know, overall rather just gripped. And it never really stops. You just go from there. So the acting is basically exactly what you would expect. Everybody sort of embodies their character at this point. Most of them, a lot of them have been doing this for a decade now, and they really embody the characters. It's not like you're watching Robert Downey Jr., you're watching Tony Stark, you're watching Iron Man. You're not watching Mark Ruffalo, you're watching Bruce Banner, and how they would react. It feels real. It feels like you're actually in the Marvel Universe. And while they always do a pretty good job with Marvel films, this one really kind of took the cake for me. I mean, I was skeptical going in because, honestly, to me, the other Avengers movies weren't my favorite. I sort of preferred the Captain America movies or sort of the other standalones. I liked some of the sillier ones. I really, really liked Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy have a huge role in this whole film, and they're in it the whole time, and it's lighthearted for a good bit, but then you kind of see that sort of unhinged side of Peter Quill that you get in the comics sometimes, but Chris Pratt really knocked it out of the park. He was big time a standout in this. Same thing with Chris Hemsworth's Thor. Love Thor. Thor's one of the best heroes, and watching Thor was great. Spider-Man continues to get better. He really just does. Tom Holland is every bit Spider-Man, in my opinion, and every time he puts on the suit, he does better, and he's more believable, and he makes me feel for him. Same thing with Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man. You really got his hurt and his loss and his anxiety through the whole thing. You felt that. I am just blown away by this film. I mean, you know, it's hard to say, oh, it should be up for Oscar contention, because truth be told, it's a superhero movie, and it is like sort of the quintessential superhero movie. But it's also sort of the Empire Strikes Back of the Marvel Universe, and I know that's sort of putting it up on high shoulders, and maybe the Empire Strikes Back to me is more than what it might be to some other people, but honestly, I was just floored the whole time. So, the acting was fantastic. The script was out of this world. The script was just phenomenal. It kind of gave everybody something to do, gave everybody a little bit of story, gave everybody some character development, and at the same time had everybody in it. Literally everybody was in it, except Ant-Man wasn't in it. There was no Ant-Man. So, spoiler, no Ant-Man. But everybody else was in it. I mean, it was phenomenal. So storyline writing was great. The Russos have done the best Marvel films, in my opinion, up thus far. Captain America, Winter Soldier, which was, I believe, the first one they did. You know, still stands up to be probably one of the best ones. But this may top them all. Like I said, I just pulled out of the theater, so I may still have that sort of like fresh feel about it. I'm still affected by the movie. But it's been a long time since I've seen anything or watched anything that's really just affected me like this. You really kind of felt everything in the film. Thanos was portrayed fantastically. He wasn't just a monster or just a mad titan. You actually, despite how despicable he was sort of relatable, and you sort of felt for him, and he was great. He was an excellent villain. Josh Brolin really kind of nailed it with just the very calm voice and just the very calmness of it, but when he really brought the rage, you felt that too. And, yeah, man, I want to go back and watch it again, honestly. The last time I think I was so affected by a show like this, it was probably an episode of Game of Thrones or something. Except imagine the best episode of Game of Thrones being almost 3 hours long and having you gripped for that entire 3 hours. So that's sort of how this feels, and that's sort of how it felt to see the film. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen it. Everybody in the world's already seen it, I think. It's already made a bazillion dollars, but this was honestly the best film I have seen out of the Marvel Universe. Maybe the best film I've ever seen. I'm blown away by it. Like I said, it's hard for me to give you an accurate and honest review of the movie because I'm still sort of in shock or in like disbelief and awe and all those other words that just, you can't believe what you saw. I can't believe it. So let's talk about the sort of technical aspects of the film a little bit. For the most part, I thought the CGI looked good. There were a few portions, you know, there are some full-on CGI characters in this. Thanos is full-on CGI. Rocket Raccoon's full-on CGI. Groot's full-on CGI. And there's a few others. Most of the bad guys were full-on CGI. The children of Thanos were CGI. CGI looked good for most of it. There were bits and pieces of it where I thought they started to look a little cartoony. Thanos particularly, I feel like they really tried to hone in on like his zoom up stuff, but there were portions of it where he was a little cartoony, I thought, but at the same time, you know, it was still great. Like, it looked great. The film looked fantastic. The action was great. Lots of good, like, the action was easy to follow. I really appreciate that. Sometimes, and this was maybe just a lot back before CGI was good enough to make the action easy to follow. A lot of times heavy CGI movies moved so fast that the action was hard to follow, and that was probably just due to the lack of quality of CGI, so they figured if they made it faster, it would be, you know, harder to tell that. But the action was easy to follow and paced very well, and the battles were huge and epic, and you just felt them. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things you have to experience it in the theater. The acting was superb. Again, they embody the characters. Couldn't have asked for more as far as that's concerned. The plot was I really thought that they were just going to jam-pack it with too much crap, and I was going to be like, oh man, this isn't going to feel complete. It's going to feel like half a movie. It doesn't. It feels like a total, complete movie, and you sort of leave more depressed, I guess, about the state of the universe, or like just in awe or in shock of the state of the universe than you did at the end of The Empire Strikes Back. So, you know, really just an overall kind of like, wow, shocker of a movie. Just so good. Like I said, the plot was good. It didn't feel rushed at any point in time, which I don't know how they did that. There's going to be a whole nother movie next year to sort of put the end on it. I doubt they can top this one. I think it is going to be a sort of an Empire Strikes Back kind of a thing. I would bet this is going to be sort of the high point of the Infinity War 2-parter. That's not to say that I'm not super interested in, and that the finale of it won't be incredible, but like I said, I really think this is going to be the Empire Strikes Back of the whole Avengers saga, although it's more movies. It's 4 movies instead of 3, but still. Really great. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. If you have not seen it, I would highly recommend it. One of the best movies I've seen all year. I didn't think it was going to be better than Black Panther, but somehow it was better than Black Panther. And Black Panther was also phenomenal. So, 10 years into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the two best films thus far, in my opinion, and maybe not, you know, you could argue that maybe Iron Man should be up there too, but the two best films thus far have been Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War Part 1. Just incredible, and stay for the end sequence, because if you're a Marvel fan, you're going to get it, and you're going to be just as gripped by it, but it's also going to give you a little ray of hope and some excitement leaving the theater. So that's my review. Go see Avengers Infinity War whenever you get the chance to. Go see it again. Hey, come see it with me. You want to come see it in Pittsburgh? Let's make a date. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I do videos every single day, for the most part. Sometimes I take a day off, but, you know, we're all human, so sometimes you just got to take a day off. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.